Hello, Teaquilters. Today is Saturday, August 20th, 2022, and it is 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're here with live sewing chat. I thought it was something I wanted to show you all. And now I just remembered now that I've gone live. I received an order from Checkers, and so I was going to show you what I ordered, but I don't have it in here. Maybe I'll take a break later and go get it. But let me pull you all up on my phone first. Get the machine cut on. And I've just got pieces laying here in front of my machine too. I do want to say that, you know, I'm working on bags, and Kevin gave me a couple of zippers today. He actually went and got bag zippers, what I consider to be bag zippers. This is a rainbow zipper, and so that's cute. And not only one but two, and I'm giving him plain zippers because that's mostly what I'm using for my utilitarian type pouches, even though I think they're pretty and their form is really pretty. I've just been using standard zippers because you can't even, I don't know if you can see this container because you can normally see more. Yeah, let me see. But I have a container here that's 3 drawers, and I've got my zippers by warm colors, hot colors, and then neutral. So I have a lot of zippers, so I will be most definitely using those. Put those in there, and they're 14-inch zippers, and I didn't ask him where he got them or what they cost. I was like, thank you. Always loving some zippers. So let's see who's here. Let's see what, if making sure nobody's saying anything about volume right now, so we're okay. We've got Beb Dixon saying hello, Tea and Quilters from DC. Linda Faust saying hello, hi Tea and everyone. Maria Field says hi, Beb. And T, I was on with you and Kevin, so that's cool. Deborah Quilt is here saying hello, T and all fellow quilters. June Hanson, hi Miss T and everyone. Brenda Foley, good evening T and friends. And my phone's only at 8%, good Lord. Melissa says, just stuff. Cried laughing. And the funny thing is, it's just ST. It's just stuff. STU, stuff. It don't even get the FF, girl. She must have went back and watched today's earlier video. Francis Jackson says, hello all from rainy Michigan. It was raining so hard here. I came home. I got home about 4 o'clock. My husband had dinner. Later for dinner, I went to sleep. I woke up at 7 with heavy rains. And you know, I almost canceled tonight's live because I'm like, I am so tired. I just want to sleep. But I'm like, I'll go ahead and get up because I do want to work a little bit on the projects, hopefully, that I get to work on today. We'll see. So I've had a long, and I actually went to my mom's house after I left Kevin because he gave me a lot of things to give my mom. So I wanted to make sure she got them in the current condition. My mom likes fried green tomatoes, and so he gave me some green tomatoes. If I wait a day or two, they might start turning. So I took them over there to her, so if she want to cook them, she can. Bev says she will have to watch T and Kevin later. Harriet Franklin says, hello from Ringgold, Georgia. T, did you get a nap? Just a small one, girl. I was knocked out the whole time. I woke up at 7. I started to roll back over because I had told my phone to wake me up at 7:30. But I'm like, you may want to go get something to eat just in case. And I did get a little bit to eat to make sure I wasn't in here starving. But my eyes got to open, you know. I feel like they can go back to sleep in any second. Cool Gal says, hi, T and everyone. Shirley Peters, good evening, T and everyone. Katie Kraft saying hello, everyone. Ray saying hi, sis, and everyone. Stay safe still. Claudette Bettis saying hello, T and everyone. Kerry Richard, hi, T and all. Sharon Lewis, hi, T and quilters. Diane 57, hi, T. Melissa still talking about more tears from laughing. I don't know. I was slap happy too. So Janice Miller saying hello, T and quilters. And Maddie Barnum says hello, T and everyone. Are you tired? Yes, I am. I am, Bob. I can go right on back to sleep. And I think the only thing that woke me up was because the rain was hitting hard on my house. And I also had to go to the restroom. Wasn't for those two things, I'd have been still knocked out until that alarm went off. Sue is here. She said, good evening, all. We missed the rain in South County. Just caught the last 10 minutes of 4-star general. Oh, okay. Sorry you missed it, Sue. Manita Nance is here going, hey, Miss T and everyone. Liz Wilson saying hello, everyone from Southeast Michigan. Brenda Foley, all that laughing made me tired laughing out loud. That is too funny. She took a nap too. Sis, we don't get no rain on the south side. Oh my God, it was raining cats and dogs over here. And it, I don't know if it rained here earlier, but when I was at Kevin's house, it also rained. So, and Kevin's probably still knocked out, okay? Because he was tired too. So yeah, I think that's it for comments right now. I'll come back. What did I do this week? Or since Wednesday anyway. I have been working on my Gills optional blocks. I also had a Quilt Guild meeting. And my committee and I, well, mostly me, I'm the one doing all the work. What I need them for is when we actually take over in October. You know, you got to have people coming in to drop off their blocks. You're going to have people putting up the blocks. You got to put them on display some kind of way. We're going to use a piece of warm and natural batting. And so I gave out optional block books. I wasn't going to do it until next month, but I thought if somebody missed the next month's meeting, then they wouldn't have the block that's due in October. So I actually handed out the optional block books for my Guild. The swapping, like the raffle draw of the blocks with my Guild and the raffle blocks with the Teaquilters are two separate entities. I just want to make that clear because I had that question at my Guild. Were they both going together? And it's like, no, I'm already doing it for my Quilt Guild, so I just thought that I would go ahead and also do it for the Teaquilters if anybody wanted to participate. Right now, I can't even wrap my head around how many people are participating. I'm just going to guess and say about 22 so far that have signed up, told me that they're sending payment or have paid. And so I'm excited about that. And this is one of those things, it's okay, whatever number it is. I just like for it to be at least 15 people. Hopefully we'll get, you know, the 15 blocks. I did have a couple of people saying they just wanted to participate, but they may or may not be sending in their blocks, and that's okay too. If you feel that your work isn't at the level of sending in, that's okay too. So, but it is an optional block draw. People get the choice of using it if they want to or if they don't. Let's see, I gotta go back. Kevin made it in here. I thought he might have been still sleeping. Said just got in from putting chickens up in the rain. Oh, I forget about that because that's conducive to the sun. Bev says, after completing my Kawandi project, I have made mad respect for all hand quilters. Yeah, you know what? I think I have seen that video because what they do is they put pieces down and then they start on the outside and work their way in, if I'm not mistaken, and they're filling in a place with fabric scraps. I do think I know what that is now that she's saying hand quilting. And no, would not happen. Now that's something that I would possibly do on a long arm, but not on, no, not with hand. Liz says we only got light rain for an hour, and it was great. Yep. I don't think it lasted that long. I'm not really sure. But I do know that my car was wet when I left Kevin's house, so it rained earlier in the day while we were in Kevin's house, and it looked like it was going to rain again, but it didn't. I think maybe we were on the tail end of the rain. That's why it looked like it was going to rain. Wash your hands says, hello everyone. Happy Saturday. Please send rain to California. It's 103 today. Oh my gosh. That's too much. Leetta Bryant says, hi TNT Quilters. French Seam says, good evening everyone. Liz is also reminding people to hit the thumbs up. Thank you. It's Darcy's birthday. That's why she's not in here. She was going out for, I don't know, lunch or dinner, but her family or somebody was taking her out. So that was pretty cool. Thanks, T. Appreciate you doing this swap for us. It's always fun. If people enjoy doing something and all I can do is just coordinate it, I'm okay with it. Like I said, I just threw it out there to people. I didn't really care either way if we had this project or not. But, you know, some people saying that they don't have access to gills and, you know, they don't have other quilting friends or people that they can do that type of stuff with. And so I thought I would offer it. And I'm just happy that at least 20 people are interested in it. So that's all that it takes for me. Just you know, some people wanting to do something and then I'm able to do it for you because you don't have access or time. A lot of people, you know, by the time you spend time when you're working full time, you got families and then you're trying to sew. You don't want your free time that you do have taken up with, you know, having to drive an hour or two to a guild meeting, because that could happen where you got to drive an hour to and from. So, you know, I don't mind doing stuff like that if people are interested. Patsy Johnson says, hi T and Quilters from Torrance, California. Hey Patsy, welcome. Appreciate you putting a comment in there. She says, send us some rain. We desperately need it. We haven't had a whole lot of rain lately. When we have rain, we get an overabundance of rain and then it starts flooding. But I'm hoping that today's rain wasn't bad. Like I said, it was hitting my house pretty hard to wake me up. But I'm hoping it didn't last long, so I'm hoping it hasn't done any damage here. Yeah, but it's always like that. You can't control Mother Nature. Put it where it's needed. And Kevin telling Melissa, we missed you today. We did. I even mentioned it. I said, oh, y'all are quiet today. Y'all need Melissa in here. Betsy says, hello all. Happy Saturday evening to all Teaquilters. C Joy Creations. Hi T and everyone. Teresa McCormick. Good evening, Miss T and everyone. Damali J. Hi T and Quilters. She talking about she had the grandkids, Melissa, and they was almost as much fun as me and Kevin. I know, it's like we act like a bunch of 2-year-olds. So, hey Donna. Handmade by Ying with Donna is saying hello T and all the quilting ladies and gents. So yeah. So, Joe Carmel coming in. Hey, T Quilters, back for some more singing and laughing. Girl, you gonna get some snoring over here, okay? Some snoozing. So, you know, I was talking Wednesday and people were still asking me about the bags. I still don't have a price. But what I did do, because I had no idea what I was even using to make this bag, so I have written down everything that I have used so far on this bag. I've also had a couple of people asking me about a pattern. At this time, I don't have a pattern. I don't know if I'm going to write a pattern. I might. We'll see. It's just one more thing I have to do. But I do need to like make the bags and not be worrying about a pattern at this point. But we'll see. I am going to, I have to go and see what stuff costs and then do a cost of what's, you know, how much it costs. I have no idea. I do know that I'm using about a half yard of fabric total, about a 3/4 of a yard of interfacing. And what other fabric am I using? And I think that's it for fabric, I'm thinking. Oh, the NR foam. I use about, out of one package of Bozo, I can get 5 of these, these size bags. And so I have to like split that type of cost up. And so I don't even know what that costs, okay? Because I'm just sewing over here, enjoying my best life. So I am working on it. I do have 4 bags. Well, actually, I have more than that because I've got 1 large bag, 2 bags. And then I forgot all about the piece of the panels back here that I made with the African prints. I got them on the back of my chair. I forgot all about these. I want to make a larger tote bag out of these. But I was like, you know what? That can wait. So I got those 2 that I need to do something with. I got 2. Another large bag going to be about this size that I just showed you. And another small one cut out. And I have just been chain piecing whenever I'm working. I've been just chain piecing with squares. Not necessarily saying I'm making more bags or not. But let me take my squares out. Because I may as well get those prepared. And I'm hoping, I didn't even check these to see if they were charms or not. I just sewed squares together. I'm hoping that what I did was I just pulled out unique squares, and it doesn't really matter what and where they go. They're just all unique at this point. So I just pulled out a bag of pieces. So I'm going to make sure right now that they're all orphan pieces, no duplicates. And I think I did do that, because sometimes I do stuff like that and it's so far, it was so long ago when I did it that I can't remember. So these look like they will work. So thank you, thank you. And if you all remember, on Wednesday I was in here quilting these 2 panels and I ran out of thread and I needed to clean the machine. So I've now squared this panel up. I think I am gonna cut them, because I realize that on this bag I don't have a wide opening, that if I don't cut in half right here, that it will be hard for me to do the top stitching on the second side of the zipper. I can get the first side pretty easy. It will be that second side of the zipper that's going to cause me some trouble. So I'm going to end up taking this panel and cutting it right in the middle on top of the stitching, unfortunately. So we'll be losing like a 1/2 inch on the bag. And then I have, because, you know, when you quilt stuff, it changes in size. So then I have each piece of lining that goes with that piece. I got them all together because they all going to be slightly different. Just a little bit, not much, but different. This is another one. And the lining. This is one. And the lining. And this is another one that I got quilted. And the lining for that one. So this was because I couldn't sleep last night, so I got up and started working. I was laying in the bed and I'm like, we need to get up and go. So then, because I got in bed and still couldn't sleep, so I got back out of bed. And I came in here and just ignore what's on top, but I made the pockets for the inside. These bags have a little inside pocket for the things that you don't want to drop to the bottom. Like if you've got a particular feet, like on this one, I've got my zipper foot in a pot on one side. My bag is a little bit bigger because I knew I was going to put my clips in there, because again, this machine is for mostly bag making, heavy duty sewing, and I'm eventually going to switch back to my other machine. On that one, I put 2 pockets. One side I put the zipper foot, and what else? Let me look. Instead of making it up, I can look and tell you. Oh, and it's got the sewing machine needles over there. And then on the other side of my pocket, I have my oil, my little small screwdriver, and then my 2 that come with the machine. I got one here from when I cleaned. So yeah, I got the screwdrivers in here as well, and they're basically sitting upright so that I can just go in here and get them out too. So I got the things that I don't want to drop to the bottom of my bag. I got those there. So I went and made all pockets for all the bags for the inside. So they're all ready to go. Then I went back and made, these are the zipper tabs, and that's where I wasn't sure if I wanted to, oops, I'm holding it. Which way is the bottom? This is the bottom. I didn't want the, I wasn't sure if I was going to use zipper tabs, because I'm like, it's a little bit harder to sew if you use zipper tabs. But what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to just do one, cut it in half. And if it works out fine, that's great. If it don't, then we won't put zipper tabs on the rest. That's the reason why you always use a longer zipper than you need, because you can always open that zipper wider than the bag is, and you can do that top stitching. Not only did I do that, then I went and made, you got these little, you can make these any size for, you know, to hold the bag as you're opening. And then I also put a little D-ring on mine here. So I went and made the strips, and I haven't sewn these yet, but I've made the 4 strips, got them pressed so that I can make the little handle part that go inside of the D-rings. So I was busy, and I got all the other zipper tabs laying over here too. I just didn't show you that. But yeah, so I've been busy doing a lot, and because I was up. I'm like, if I'm not going to sleep, I'm going to get back up and sew instead of just laying there. So I did get these all moved steps ahead. So let's see who else has come in now. Let me go back. Cynthia Shade. Hey, Cynthia says good evening to all from Chicago. Vanessa Brown. Hi, T and all T Quilters. Dolores Felt saying hello, everyone. Hi, and all T Quilters. Sheila Willis saying good evening, T and all sewers. Hey, T and all T Quilters from Tom Eckery. Hey, Tom. Quilt Gal was talking to Kevin, but she was saying lovely song this afternoon. You two had me laughing so much, and tried to put piece border on a quilt. I don't know what's wrong with Kevin. I'm just, you know, I was slap happy. I hadn't had any sleep. Diane 57 is reminding people to hit the thumbs up, saying there's 94 people here. So thank you, Diane, for the reminder. Saying, oh girl, that is beautiful to the max by Donna. Thank you. Joe Carmel's also reminding people about the thumbs up. Susan says, my sides still ache from laughing this morning. Dare I join you? This time it won't be so bad. I'm by myself. I can only cut up so much by myself. I have nobody to bounce it off of. All those pieces are nice for bags. Thank you. Betsy says, you have been very busy. Yes, I've been trying to, because I got like so many requests, and it's like, girl, you ain't doing, I think I got one bag. The one that has the red leather on the bottom and the African print. That's the only bag I have for sale. And I don't even know, like I said, I never sat down and cost out. You know, I've been enjoying the process of making the bags. that I hadn't even thought about what I was using. I was just doing one step and going to the next. Well, I'm hoping that I got these 4 bags, and then when I get like 15-20 minutes where I can sew, I can come in here, and now that I've got the majority of the pieces done, I can just go ahead and knock them out. So cute bag, lovely, from Christine L. Thank you. Don't forget to give the thumbs up from Susan. Francis Riviera says, good evening all, lurking while fixing dinner. So yes. And then I do have like some of my not today pieces over here I had sold earlier in the week that I didn't even mention. I sold them on the Zoom Sunday. And they need to be sold. I got some seams I need to sew on that. And I'm wondering if I should start with that first, because I have not been working on not today because I don't know what my count is on blocks. And so I need to get everything sold so that I can count everything. So maybe we'll start with that. I've got these pieces, these mini blocks that I have pinned at the center matching point that I need to put a seam in. So we'll start there. And now I just found a piece of fabric that goes with my 4-star General. I cleaned up my stuff for my girls to come, my Quilt Guild, the small group, to come to my house last Saturday. It's like, how do you lose a 3-inch binder that should have never been put up because it was in this room? I never cleaned this room. And it was in here because I pieced my 4-star General after I left Kevin's house last month. So I know I have the book. I know it wasn't at Kevin's house. And I don't know what I've done with it. So it's a mystery right now. I'll come back across it. It was probably one of those last minute things. I saw it somewhere and I go, oh, I'm going to move it. And you know those little special places we move things to? Yeah, you never see them again. That's my current status. Tom says he's still catching up on the 4-star General, so that's good. We haven't seen any photos, so I'm interested in seeing how yours is going. We saw an earlier photo from you, and it looked like it was going to be very interesting, so I'm waiting to see what you finally do with that. Susan says, hi, all, love this. Haven't had time to join the lives lately. That's awesome that you're back. 4-star General, I still have to, I got my 4 blocks done. I did do 2 blocks in the middle of the morning since I was up already. I'm like, I did not want to sew 4-star General when I came in here on Saturday night, but I wanted to make sure that they were done. So I went ahead and did 2 of my blocks, and then I did 2 at Kevin's house. So I did cheat a little bit. What did I have up here that just flew off this song? I know what that is. This was the D-ring I was looking for earlier to give to Kevin. And I went back into my storage container and got another one because I couldn't find it. Well, now it just flew off the top of the sewing machine. Okay. I was looking on the base of the machine. I had apparently put it up here. Oh, well. He got a D-ring anyway. So we'll run through these. I'm not even sure how many I got. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is 25 blocks here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count and see how many blocks I have and see how many more I need to make. And I'm also going to make a modification to this pattern. So I need to figure that out too. And it's going to actually go onto these blocks. So I'll have to do that. And I need to cut it too. Cut for the modification. Yep. See, when I'm piecing stuff, because I wasn't planning on doing this quilt. And so when I come in here on Saturdays, I got to find something to sew. So I have these things already pre-cut. Not necessarily that I plan to do them right away. And then some of the projects require that you'd make a certain number of blocks like this, a certain number of blocks like that. And this is one of them. So, yeah, I need to start doing some counting. And Diane says she says I do that too. I lose things right under my nose, right? And I'm like, it's a binder that has a cover on it, so it's like, how can I can see a traditional binder hiding, you know, along with the other plain binders, but no, this one has a cover because I wanted to make sure I didn't lose my 4-star general binder. And what happens? I lose it the last 2 months of the the last month of the sewing challenge. Okay, crazy. Don't make sense at all. And I had it before my friends came because I used it. And I know I got some fabric pieces in there. That's what I wanted for, but I did find one of them laying here. This is the my main sashing, and then I've got an inner sashing. I don't know, I'm gonna have to cut it, but I didn't want to cut if I already had cut the fabric in the first place. But I did get the bolt out of my closet. I lost my live chat. Hopefully we're still recording here. Don't know what that was about. Cute Lady Corpru says, hi everyone. New to the Facebook group and new to the live. I watch your videos when I am sewing. Love watching you and look forward to learning from this group. So thank you. Anytime you have any questions or if you're stuck on something, you can always post in the Facebook group or post here. If we're live, people are more than willing to give their opinions. You have to decide what you want to take and what you want to toss. But we love helping people, so welcome. Angela Stringer is here saying, good evening, TNT folk. My freezer went out. Been air frying. You know the drill. Yeah, whenever something like that happens, you start trying to cook everything you can. I'll be air frying the stuff on the grill and everything. I hate when that happens. So sorry you're going through that. And Joe Cormel talking about she love the cape bag. Yeah. I wonder where I got those from. Those are scraps. Everybody else don't know, but you know where they're from. Yeah. I actually unboxed all of my retreat stuff, and she was saying, anybody want these scraps? She about to pitch them in the trash. She tired of looking at them. I was like, give them to me. Don't you throw them away. I still got a few pieces left, girl. I'm holding on to them. I started sewing another panel. I don't know if I'm going to have enough yet, but I got pieces started anyway. And like I said, I make stuff in chain piecing just so I don't have to break my thread until my bobbin runs out or the machine malfunctions, whichever happens first. I like chain piecing. I don't like wasting thread. But when I'm bag making, I find I do waste a lot of thread because I can't chain piece everything that I'm doing. So we're going to see how this is going to go today. Get these 25 blocks out the way. Okay, thanks Liz and Diane. And Susan saying she can lose things like that too. It's so frustrating. Yeah. I must have gone back at the last minute because I thought that I was going to cut for my last 4-star general right before the girls came. Because what I was doing was I'd clean up for about 2 or 3 hours, and then I'd come in here and I'd sew for, you know, 15 minutes or so. I give myself a timer. And I'm wondering if I thought I was going to sew and I ended up taking it to my long arm area, which is where I normally cut. But I have no idea what I did. What I did with that book at this point. I have walked my house about 3 times, and I haven't like moved anything, but what I have done is I've kind of like glanced inside of see-through containers to see if I see the book. I did go into the 4-star general container because I do have a container that's just for that. And it's a big one because I was working on 2 versions of it. I've decided I got 6 blocks. I'm not going to do any more. I think I am going to rail fence around it because rail fence is a traditional block. I think I'm going to just rail fence out the bottom. I don't think I'm making any more of these blocks. I've had it. So I think I'm just going to cut. I got to cut scraps from red, black, grays, and whites. And I need to figure out, I got a specific design I can do with it with the 4 colors. So I think I'm going to do that. But I'll do that later. I knew I wasn't sewing. Just the last 2. The way that went back, I was like, there is no way that had thread in it. Okay. I just need to change the bobbin here because I cleaned it right before I put this bobbin in. And these bobbins don't hold as much thread as my other machines. Oops, we got to get you up. I guess I need that back to put the other bobbin in. I do wind, say, about 10 to 12 bobbins at a time. Put them in my case. And I got 2 left in there with the one in my hand making 3. So I can go a long time before I need to wind a bobbin. Just make sure I don't have any dust anywhere. And what the heck, I'm here already. I may as well put some oil in here, but I'm not doing a deep clean. Sorry, I'm hitting the mic, guys. Just want to make sure. Lift this up and go ahead and oil. Machines can always take some oil, especially if we're running them. This is very easy to oil, even though it's a lot of ports. They're all right there for you. All right. Put that back. And now we can thread it back. It don't take too long to do the right thing. It was barely dusty under there. So right. Let's see. Here's the bag right here, made from scraps that I got from Joe Carmel at Retreat. Diane Ted says opinion. We don't have an opinion. Talking about she's laughing. Yeah, right, girl. You ask a quilt or something, you're going to get way more than what you bargained for and then some. But it's all right. And then you're going to get 15 different opinions too. And then you have to decide which one you like best. Because none of them are necessarily wrong, you know? That's the cool thing about quilting. You can get to the same spot so many different ways. I was listening more than watching there for a minute. What does the cover look like? It's a brown Asian print. It's got an oriental print, not Asian, more of it's an oriental print. Sorry. Dee Dee just joined from Michigan. Hey, Dee Dee. A lot of you all were in the live earlier, so thank you all for coming back. Make sure I'm sewing here. I didn't even check. Okay. Make sure nothing happened with the top thread while I was running that oil through. So yeah, I need, I think 64 of these blocks. And so I don't know how many I got between, I sold a batch of these before, and this is my second batch I sold doing the Zoom on Sunday, but I wasn't counting. So I need to make sure I don't oversew, because I got, you know, I just cut. I don't really count pieces, I just cut. I know how much fabric I need to make my cuts, and then I just pull a fabric and start cutting it, and then my background is all one fabric. That's easy. It's the prints, because I'm cutting from different size prints. I just cut up to so many pieces from each print and keep it moving until I get through the whole stack. So I may have more prints than I need. And then I've decided I don't like the white space, and so I'm going to do something else with the white space. Because I enlarged the quilt block, I got too much white space. I thought I was going to put an embroidery block in there or an applique block, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. I've already done that, where I did a quilt that I call Missouri Botanical Gardens, and I used all floral prints, and then in the middle I have maybe, I don't know, 50 different machine applique flowers, machine embroidered flowers, and they're in the centers, and it is really cute. But I'm like, I don't want to do the same thing either. I've been thinking about donating that quilt to the Missouri Botanical Gardens, but I can't part with it yet, so it's just still sitting there. I have used it in lectures a time or two. It's a nice quilt block too. But I haven't decided to part with it yet. But one of these days I do plan to donate that quilt to them. It's just gorgeous. Michelle the Quilter is here. Says hi to everyone. Hi Kevin and Diane 57. T, take a quick look at the long arm for your book. Kevin can keep us all entertained. It's all right. I'm not worried about that book because I'm on a whole different project right now. I'll find it eventually. And right now, I don't even really need that book because I found all the fabric. The instructions I still have. If I, you know, So, yeah, because I sold it. So, I do have another pattern. I didn't sell the last pattern. I kept one intact. And so, I do have the instructions should I need them. Oops. So, I'll be all right. I have not gone to that pattern to open it up. Because I don't want to mess with it right now. I go in there and start opening up, messing with it, then I can't sell it. So if I decide to sell it, I kept one while we were working on the project just in case. And that's where we are. I still haven't heard anything about retreat prices. This one goes in here. Still waiting on that. I'm going to ask on Monday. I was just giving her some time to get back to me. Question T, how long do we have to get our finished 4-star general quilts into Facebook? October 31st. Have to think of the date. Because October is get it all together month. So you have to October 31st. I'll be doing a drawing in November. For those that posted on time. I'll put you in. And I'm going to make sure that when you're finished quilt, make sure that you post it into that pinned post that I have in the group, because that's where I'm going to be taking the names. Hi, Mona did what? Thank you. People saying it's pretty, that they love the red bag. It's the red and orange. It's that hot colors. Yes. K fabrics. Diane says, sorry, I could not make it to the live. No problem. It wasn't as many people in there today. I don't know what the number eventually got up to. At one point I saw 64. I don't really look and pay attention to that kind of stuff, because I'm just here sewing, talking, having a good time, enjoying myself. So I don't even know. And the only reason I knew that because Kevin was waiting for people to get into the group before he would give his song, you know. Being the diva, just drama, bringing drama that he is. I am not singing for 30 people. Oh my gosh. You're welcome, Melissa. As Kevin would say, reigning queen of scraps, laughing out loud. Right. She talking about who want this, girl. You can't throw pretty stuff away now. If it's like calicos and all of that, you know, if it's just old stuff, and then I'm like, you know what, you got enough crap at home, but who gonna let some cape go clear across the room? It's like, and I'm standing right there when she asked. This will not go another 2 feet. She should have asked that question when I was gone. Hey, Stephanie of Memoirs of a Longworm Quilter says, hey, T and everyone. Benita's asking, when is Eric's birthday? I did mention it earlier today that Eric's birthday is next Tuesday. Benita, he did a live on Thursday where he opened those gifts. So go back and look at his Thursday live. I don't know what time Eric comes on, because, you know, it's a different time schedule for us here. Especially you're clear across the other side of the country. So I can never make the lives because of the time anyway. But I tend to watch later, and that's what I did. I watched Friday. I wasn't even at home Thursday when he was live. I was at my Quilt Guild meeting. Thanks, Michelle. And Patsy talking about, oh, and what a song. What I want to know, Rumi, is when were those scraps offered up? Laughing out loud. Oh, shut up. Just shut up. when she finally got that quilt top pieced and she was frustrated and tired of it. At least I helped her piece it. I had no idea it was going to be a gift later, but that was nice. That was nice of her. That was not her intention at the beginning. I tried to have her not do that, but she did it anyway. So I got the whole quilt. I haven't been able to quilt anything for myself yet. I still, you know, I never clean my long arm off. I have stuff on it that's for sorting right now. And I haven't cleaned it off. I do need to do that because I got a custom quilt I need to quilt, and I got 2 tops of mine that I need to quilt. Both of them were gifts. Whoops, over here. I need to make backs for them. That's another thing I need to do, or cut backs. I don't know if I need to make backs, but I need to at least cut some backing fabric. I ran out of pens big time. I was just using any pens. I'm using my flower head pens, and I don't normally use them unless I'm doing stack and whack quilts. So that's amazing that I've used so many flower head pens. This is the last one though. It's 8:51 p.m. Central Standard Time, so we're almost an hour in. That hour went fast. But at least I got these done. I can get these pressed. And then I can count how many blocks I have. That's the goal. Good night, C Joy. A small crowd isn't enough buffer for all that talent. Oh, that's the deal with that's the deal with Kevin. That's funny. That is funny. All right, so let's get these stacked up here a little bit neater. I've been using I've made quite a few of the little design boards that I used. Dollar store. What kind of tape is that? Duct tape, and it's not the best. So, but I've been using them anyway. And so I've been using my design boards a lot between optional blocks and sewing these bags together. So I got stacks of them. Like they're all down, the boards are all down here. I probably got 3 or 4 boards here. I got 2 up here. Is it 1 now? No, it's 1 up here now. I took 2 of them to Kevin's house today because I had my pieces. I did lay out my pieces today. And the day that I lay out my pieces, he didn't lay out his pieces. He said, oh, we got to do all these flip corners first. I laid all mine out on top of the flip corners. We had to do a lot of snowballing today. So, just get this into a stack. And I got pieces over here. I'm just going to put this in the stack too, so I can count them later. And I got a drawer out right here. I'm just going to sit it there so I don't get it, because I got all kind of bag making supplies down here just in case I need them, so I don't have to get up except to get the cam snap press if I need it. That's the only thing I would have to get up for. Melissa talking about, I definitely owe him a tip. That's funny. What had happened was, that's Joe Carmel talking to Kevin. And Stephanie says, hey, my song. Hey, my saying, Kevin, you were jamming on that one. Yep. Susan saying good night, all. Always a pleasure. Good night, Susan. Thank you so much for coming in. Stephanie talking about she gonna make Kevin a Grammy. Oh Lord, I would have to hear it forever. Don't do it. Rich Rutley is here saying hi. Tea and quilting friends from New Jersey. Welcome. Kevin is funny. He is slow today. Okay. So I just did that. I wanted to take one of these bags. And I'm going to cut it in half and see about these zipper tabs. I've never cut a bag. And I think I told you all, like when I did this is a bag in progression. Every time I do it, I do something different. And then I find out I like it a little bit more. I like the fact that the bag will stand up on its own if you don't like throw it down. And then it's, it'll be bottom weighted heavy. So this bag has nothing in it. And it will just sit. So I am using Bosal NR foam on the inside. On my lining piece, on this bag, I did, because like I said, it's a progression thing. I did line the inside lining fabric as well. So I've done all of that stuff before I, in the middle of the night because I was up, So now we're going to go ahead and finish this. But I am going to cut. I don't know why I got the scissors here. But we are going to cut this in half on the 2, 3, 4 on the middle seam line. And because if I put these zipper tabs in here, I'm not going to be able to sew that. So let's try that on one of the bags. I'm not going to do all 4. And I want to make sure I'm cutting straight, even if it's off a little bit on the seam lines, because quilting changes perspective of things. So I don't really care about staying on the seam line. I just want to slice it in half and have it square. Sounds weird to be cutting something that you've quilted in half, but that's what I'm doing. All right. And this is not the optimum cutting position either, so put this back for, well, I'm going to need it to cut the lining piece, but what I want to do is put a pin at the top so I know where the top is and don't mix up the top and the bottom, because I want that seam to be hidden at the bottom of the bag, right? So I'm just going to put something to mark the top. Hey, Remo JS, you late, girl. Late to the party. And then on this one, I can just fold in half because it's just a plain piece of fabric with interfacing. Make a little crease line, and then I can cut on that line. So we're just going to work on one bag today, or one bag right now, because I don't want to, mass do a step, and that's not a step I want to do, and then it end up being wrong, because I would cry. And we don't want that. All right. So then also, before I sew the zipper in, I'm going to take a 1.25 inches out of each corner. So I need to mark those. No, yeah, 1.25 inches. Gonna do that. Doesn't matter what you mark this with, because it's going to be cut out anyway, and then you're going to have a seam as well. All 4 corners need that. I can take this long ruler and put it back because it's just cumbersome. That's why I always tell people, don't always operate with one ruler size. Operate with a ruler that's got the measurements that you need in the smallest ruler possible, long as your measurement is on that ruler, because otherwise you're just spending your time turning rulers. That's 2, and I'm marking the top one. I got 2 layers here because I just cut it in half, but I'm gonna just cut them both together. It's a bag, it's not, you know, a quilt. It'll be good. And I also got to do the same thing for, I will have to mark these, and I'm going to use like a Sharpie so I can see it, because, you know, I got all these fabrics over here. So 1.25. I got to see it. I guess I could have used chalk too. But like I said, I'm cutting on this, and it's going to be a 1/4 inch seam. I can barely see that. I may have to get some chalk. One of my fabrics is really dark so far. These I will have to mark individually because they're so thick. I wouldn't be cutting the same thing on top and bottom. One and a quarter. Right there. I put this on here, this purple boy, I can't even see it. And I don't even know where my white marking pen is. Sometimes I have it in my hand sewing stuff. I'm going to cut this while I sort of kind of see a hint of it. Because this Sharpie just blending in. That's 1. I still got 1 more to mark. Oh, I think I got them all. Hold on. I think I got them all. Because I think the one that I'm having issues with is the first one I marked. The darkest square. And I do see it. Gotta put it right under the light though. Just a minute, guys. I'll be back with you all when I finish this step. That's one that's marked and cut, and I think I'll be able to see all of these on the next one. One more. I gotta mark, you know, the other side, because I now cut this in half, so it's not all connected anymore. 1. And I still never got a chance to make another project bag because I wanted to test out the nylon foot to see if it worked with the on this machine, if it worked with the vinyl. So all right, we got all of this marked for one bag. Put that ruler back and cut this off. Making sure I don't overcut, guys. I'm cutting with scissors and stuff like that. And in my finished quilted piece, I want to make sure it's right. So, sorry about being quiet here. And I need to do that for my lining pieces. I've got them both stacked because they're thinner. It's not quilted. I'll read some comments after I finish with these last cuts here. All right. Oops. So both of my lining pieces now look like this. And the one piece panel piece that I had, I cut in half, and now it looks like that. All right. Kevin talking about, oh, Miss T, you love my song. And the funny thing is, I called him and go, is it anything that I need to be prepared for that you got planned that I don't know about? Asking him. And of course, he plays the innocent act. Remo's reminding people to hit the thumbs up button. Thank you, ma'am. Saying it's 76 of them, but it's 103 people watching. Thanks, Stephanie. Teresa says, thank you, Miss T. Love that. Good night to all. Good night, Teresa. She's probably gone by now, but thank you. And Rich says, that is so true with rulers. T. Yeah, I've always, when I was, people ask, how do you get your scraps cut so fast when I didn't even have a die cutting machine? It's because I used the appropriate size rulers for the appropriate size scraps I was cutting. I always just had them lined up in one of those little ruler trays. When I'm cutting scraps, I pull one of my ruler trays and I pull the rulers for the sizes that I know I'm going to be cutting so that they're all right there. Hi, Sarah from Brazil says, good evening, Miss T. Hi, Lynette Williams. All right, so got a couple things I need to do now. One of them is I need to do a name tag, and I got a note on the back of my interfacing as to what color I had pulled to go with this Scrappy one. So let's see what that is. Oh, I can't find it because I cut it out, right? So I'm trying to see if I see an inkling of it. Nope. So I got to go to my square container. I think this is green, but we'll make sure. I cut it out. I put it in the corner. This is the purple. Oh, it's the dark purple square. But I think green was my color for this, I think. So we're going to put a green zipper in here. And we're going to put, we need a bag tag. Let's see, I think I got something that's kind of tealy green. Oh my goodness, my bag is coming apart. We got to fix that. We can't have that. You know, we fixed that right up. White thread and all, who cares? We're not having that. It's just tulle, and apparently it is coming apart. So it started out with the right color thread, but it won't end up the right color thread. Nobody got time for that. Right. You trying to like go on vacation or some stuff. We got to use you a little longer. This is the pieces to be pressed. Flip this bag back out and reuse it. White seam and all. On my pink bag. Alright. I know how many repairs I'll make. Put everything back in except for the one I need. These are all my Teaquilts bag tags. And I got this bag here. I will use this tealy green one. Right there. Yes, I did, Maddie. I mentioned it earlier today. Maybe you didn't hear me. I did get it. Trying to figure out, it's got a rose where I would put the tag there. So we want that to show. So I'll put it on the one. It's right in the middle, yeah. So we'll put it right here. My tape's in the back room. I got some other tape here. It's not as sticky. Doesn't hold as well in my opinion. I don't want to use glue stick. Do I have a glue stick over here? Yes, I do. That's what we'll do. Just put it in the middle. And stick it down. Yeah, I got you, Maddie. So I guess I can take this pen out of here. I know what the top is now. Deborah Holloway says, good evening, TNT Quilters. Hey, Deborah, welcome. Amber is puppy, Melissa. Okay. So, yeah. Maddie, did you win the bag that I gave away? Who won the bag that I gave away? I can't remember anymore. Okay, so we're just going to let this glue dry a little bit. While that glue is drying, I'm going to take this other panel and just put my, I need to put the pocket on here. So just find the center, and make sure it's the top. Yep, because I got a seam on it. And I place it about a 1/2 inch below where I cut those squares out. That's the top part, is sitting right there. That's good enough for me. I'll put a couple pins in here to hold it. Oh, she didn't win it. I thought she won it. Yeah. T, you like your machine? Yes, I do like the machine. I just prefer more. I'm a features person. So I do like the speed of sewing. I just wish that it would tell me when my thread was out. And it doesn't do that. So I'll be going back to the Bernina because of that. But other than that, I actually love this machine. I love the speed that it sews. It's 9:16. I'm gonna work on this about 9:30 because I'm gonna go get that checkers box. It's a huge box too. I don't know where it's going, but I can work on these tomorrow. Or, I don't know. I say that now. I might sleep all day tomorrow. Since I was up for over 30 hours. Maybe even longer than that. So I'm just sewing this. And I'm backwards. I told you all that I'm backwards. I do put a little snap on this pocket. Because if you're going to put small things in here that you don't want to lose, I like to put a snap on it. But what I find is I like to put the pocket on first and then put the snap on. Weird, but that's what I do. So, and all I'm doing now is just letting the glue dry on that other piece so I can do the other things I need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do the snap. So if I'm using a green zipper, I'm going to be using green snap. I pulled it all out. See how easy it is to get out of this little stand I got up here. Thanks, Joe Cormel. Rich says, T, I am backwards too, and I'm left-handed and dyslexic. I have a slight dyslexic where I read small words that are the same forward and backwards, like was and saw, no and on. I'll read them in the right context for the sentence, even if they're sitting there wrong. So, yeah. Sue is moving machines, so you got to keep busy, girl. And June's left-handed too. All right, so I'm going to use I'm not going to use the cam snap yet. I'm going to use the one that came with my plastic snaps. Rearranging my stacks down here on the floor for my bag making stuff. Because I find when I'm dealing with cotton, I don't have to really punch a hole. I just poke it right on through there. You know, if it's got this stuff on it, the foam or thick interfacings, then yeah, it's a little bit more difficult. But this one right here, not so much. Now I got to see which one did I put where. So this one here is on top. So I want the one on the bottom first. No, I want the one on top first. So I can put it right on the line, center line, and then I'm just going to line the bottom one up. See, I just poke it through the quilt cotton. Even when it's interfaced, I can still get it on there enough that I don't have to poke a hole. I just slide it on there. And then this piece goes on. And then I slide my cam snap. I know you all can't see what I'm doing, but I've just basically put a snap on here, poked it in through the front, this little green, and I'm putting a back on here. And just press that. And that one's on. And then I just close this up and go to the back and put this in the center of the one that's already there. Move the top and just push my fabric through. So I find I kind of like having the pocket on here when I do this one. Just a little bit different. I'm always doing stuff, like they say, backwards. But that's a left-hander's mind. And that's what I'm doing. Put it in there, right there, and squeeze. And there's my snap on my pocket. And then that way you can divide your pocket. If you've got your you know, your screwdrivers and stuff like that, they'll stay over toward this side. If you got a few presser feet, you know, depending on what it is. So you've got a little divider, and it keeps stuff from coming out of the pocket. That's the main goal. So that part's done. I got to sew on this tag now. Now, that is one thing I'm having problems with, is getting sharp corners on here. And I'm finding that I have to backstitch. I don't know what's up with that. I don't get sharp corners. So, and this is, you know, like I said, the whole point of me getting this machine, and every bag that I've been doing is a development. And so I've been trying to critique the process as I'm going. And I'm going to backstitch so that I get a sharp corner. And I'm going to do that at every corner. I'm going to see if that's going to be better. Backstitch 2 stitches and then come forward. Alright. Like I said, it's a test. It already looks better than some of my other tags. We'll see once I turn this corner. Backstitch twice at the beginning and end of a corner. One, two, 1, 2. It's more stitching there, but I have a sharper corner. It's a process. If I don't backstitch the corners, it doesn't get tight in the corners. It's like it's a skip stitch. Alright. I don't like that I have to stitch it like that, but that's what it is. And I think it's because I've changed that tension on the bobbin, and I can't find that sweet spot again. Alright, so let me show it to you up close. See how my corners are reinforced with stitching? Yeah, and I have to do that because if I don't, it'll look like this. Bottom right corner. Look at the bottom right corner. both of the bottom corners are kind of weird. I just stitched once, and so yeah, I'm trying to make sure that those corners are good. Good night, Deborah. She says, T, I just wanted to check in with everyone. I worked the end of the summer and back to school event today, and I'm tired and sore, so I am going to bed early tonight. Good night, everyone. Thanks so much for coming in to share your time with us. Good night, Zella. Thank you so much. Delia says she's a lefty as well, or Delia. I'm not sure how her name is pronounced. Sue says, have you ever noticed that when you try to get organized, you make a worse mess than before you started? Always. Okay. So I got my top pieces now. So this is my front. The pocket is going, this is my front piece. The pocket is going on the back. So that's not the one I want. I want the other end. And so it's going to go with the piece that does not have a label on it. So we're going to put these two pieces together. I'm just trying to move these pieces out of the way so I don't get them mixed up. I do want to go ahead and put this up, so I won't be needing this. The next thing I'll need is to put a rivet on my bag, but I won't be using this because I have to put a hole to put a rivet. And we'll use something else. Thanks, Rich. Saying how smart T with compartments. Yeah, but I didn't want to stitch it, you know, in case you had something that was bigger. If you know how when you stitch a pocket down the middle and then you have something that won't fit in the pocket all of a sudden. So I didn't want to stitch them because I could have just stitched the compartment and left it, but I was like, no, we don't want to stitch it. We just want to put a snap. I can't get this bag to close back up. It's been opened and closed so many times, so I'm just going to fold it down and slide it in here. All right, so I've got my bag front. I've got a zipper that I'm going to have to cut, and I need to get some zipper tabs, which are over here, and I don't think I made them in any particular color. They're just Scrappy, so I'll take that one that has some green, and this one has some green too. Haha. All right, so I got to figure out the length of this too. So it was, I cut it though. That's the thing, this ruler is not even long enough. See, I don't write anything down, I just do it. Somebody go, you got a pattern? Nope. It's about 7 and it's bigger than 3/8. It's between 3/8 and a half. So just say 7 and a half. So that's the size you want your zipper to end up being in the end. I don't even have any tape in here that I could tape my zipper. Because I'm going to end up cutting off both ends. I don't want any other metal in here. So I'm going to cut this about 6 inches because I'm going to put tabs on it. Instead of cutting it at 7 and a half, I'm going to cut it at 6 inches. We don't need much on the sides. Oops. I'm going to have to open this zipper and slide you down. And I don't even have the right rotary cutter in here. Lord help me. I'm going to mark this with a Sharpie pen. And then use my scissors that I use for paper and stuff. I do have a pair of Fiskars that I do all the grunt work with. And that's because I do got a pair of paper scissors in here though. I'll use those. But I do have scissors. I do have a pair of name brand scissors that I do that type of work with. So we're going to cut it 6 inches. So I'm just marking it so I can cut it with scissors. In my long arm, I have a drawer with all my rotary cutting stuff in it. And I do have a rotary blade that's set up to cut this kind of stuff. And I do want to make sure that I don't cut off the zipper pull. And I'm going to have to line this up and hold it because my zipper is open. Right there. Alright. So I've just cut the zipper to the size I need and then just waist zipper here. I don't keep that. Alright. So zipper pull is going to be to the left. But before I put it on here, I do want to put these tabs on. I guess I'll put this green down here at this end. So if I put this right here. I always like to do a little test run first. I'll put this right here, so, and pull you back, you're going to be on the side of the tab. That's what I want. Alright. So, I've got a piece of fabric way wider than what I need. I'm just going to trim it up after the fact. And I've got this fabric folded right sides together. And I am just going to stitch a 1/4 inch seam going over the ends of this zipper. And I'm going to back stitch on it as well when I get to that zipper. Alright. And so then once I sew that, I just pull the fabric up. So it was a folded piece of fabric that I slid the zipper in the middle of the 2 pieces of folded fabric. This could be 1 piece of fabric folded in half. I'm using scraps. Okay. So then I just pull the pieces up. And what that does is that it makes the inside edges not be raw. So that's why I do it like that. And then I pull it tight. I'm going to put a pin in here to hold it, so that it's nice and tight down by the zipper here. And then I'm just going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch away. And so I'm really securing this zipper onto this piece of fabric. And I'm wondering if I don't know if I should be putting interfacing here. I did not interface this. But, you know, maybe that's another add-on thing I might make to future bags. Is that I might put interfacing on one of the pieces of the tab fabric. Alright. So now it's top stitch. And I just trim this even with the zipper tape at this point. I'm going to pull the zipper down just so I can get my ruler on here, but don't take it off because we don't want to lose the zipper pull. You could put it back on, but it's a pain. I have some people I've seen on YouTube, they sew their zippers and don't even, they just pull the thing off and put it on at the end. I would have a heart attack if I couldn't get that zipper on once I finished the whole project. Because that's how it would work for me. So, I'm just squaring this up, trimming it to the same width as the zipper tape. And it doesn't have to be exact. Alright, so I've got one side of my zipper done. And now I'm going to pull the zipper down to the other side, and that's really where it's closed, right there. And do that same thing to the other side. And I'm not worried right now about what size it is. I'm just I am trying to get as close as I can to the edge, so I only have to trim one side maybe this time. So a 1/4 inch seam to sew that zipper. I just sewed 2 of my squares together. To make this zipper thing. You don't need it that long, but you know, I'm using what I got here. So again, we're gonna press this up, pull it so it's nice and tight, and I'm gonna put a pin in it to hold it in position I want. I don't know where I'm at. I'm going to make my first ditty bag soon. Been expired by the queen of scraps. Liz says, Miss T, how do you determine how much to cut away in your corners? This is a small bag, so I just make it a small number. You could, you got to remember whatever you're cutting is going to be doubled because it's going to be on the other side as well, plus a seam allowance. So I just do it that way. How it's going to determine how wide the side of your bag is. So that's what it is. So you can make it. You could put you could cut out 2-inch square. It just means that your bag is going to be less wide this way and more fat this way. So it's a design thing. There is no magic or wrong way to do it. All right, so we got this one done, and now all I gotta do is just cut one side. I lined this one up. Instead of going in the center, I lined up to one end because it's all gonna be cut in the seam allowance anyway. So you don't have to be perfect. I could have done both of these on one piece of fabric had I put it, you know, I'm gonna save this piece. Put this right back on my board. I got enough for another zipper here. All right. So I want to put this up. Definitely want to put the rotary cutter up. I want to cut off some strings. I'm one of those people, I hate seeing strings as I'm working. And put this ruler up for right now. So now I have both ends done. This zipper is way longer than I need. Remember, my zipper was about 7.5. This whole thing is about 9 3/4 inches. So, and I'm not worried about trimming it right now. I'm trying to get caught up on comments. To make sharp corners on the brother, I stop before the corner, stitch, and hand crank the last stitch, pivot and sew. Repeat at each corner. I haven't tried that. I have tried that one next. I'll try it on a piece of scrap and see if it works. And I don't know if it's because I'm stitching on the leather or not. I don't know if that's what it is. Those bags are so pretty. Thank you. Is that Kayla as the thumbnail? She was super sweet. You know, she was the one person at retreat that I didn't get to talk to a whole lot. I think I had a couple of meals. That is Kayla. And I'm glad you mentioned it because I keep forgetting to talk about the thumbnail people. But yes, Kayla was very sweet. She came quite a long distance by herself. And then I think she was we had Tucker there who was young, but she was our youngest adult there, I want to say. And really sweet to come to retreat. I had met Shaquita, and just from talking with Kayla in Zooms and things like that, I felt like her and Shaquita would be a good match. So I feel like I did a great job matching table mates and roommates with this, even though I didn't know some people ahead of time. She was really sweet. She was pretty quiet, so she only really talked when she was spoken to. And I don't know if that's because she was young or if that's just how she is. She could be An introvert. I keep telling y'all, and I know it's hard to believe, but I'm really an introvert. When I get into a room of people, I could care less what's going on in that room with the people. Just leave me out of it. And I'll sit over in the corner happy by myself. I don't go out and make new friends. So it's just weird. But when it comes to quilting, it's like it's a whole different thing for me. And so I tend to do a little bit more because of quilting. So I'm actually going to fold this in half at my fabric tabs. I'm going to put a little mark. With my Sharpie. Just a little dot. I don't want to clip it. I sometimes will clip it, but I'm going to try marking. Just marking my center on both front and back just a little bit. And then mark my center here. Nice little fold. This one's thick. I can't clip this one. Just a little. And clip my top part of my pocket lining. I gotta figure out this interfacing looks just like the muslin. I'm not muslin, I actually use Kona cotton, but it looks like muslin fabric. When you put it on the Kona cotton, you can get them mixed up, but this is my right side. All right. So I got my centers marked, and so I'm going to center my zipper in the center positions here. And this is where I start using those clips. I don't know if I got them in there. You know what? I got the clips in my room because I was using them too while I was making the bag. Let's make sure. Yep, they're not in here. I got more clips back here. They're just not the sturdier ones. I'll take these out. Gotta make do. Oh my gosh. So we like Crumbs is here saying hi T and T Quilters and all the quilting family. Glad I made it to the chat. Been a really busy day for me. Yes. Glad you made it. So I just got marked my middle and then I just go out. Now, I have made quite a few bags. Sometimes I can sew zipper on here with no problem. And I just use my 1/4 inch foot most of the time. It depends on if I got enough space to sew that quarter. And then it's sometimes I think it moves around. So the last zipper that I sewed, it moved around. So I'm going to actually base this down 1/8 of an inch. I'm not going to sew the quarter. It's going to be 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to base this before I put the top on. So I got my zipper teeth face down. So it's like right sides together, sewing 2 pieces of fabric is what that is. And I'm going to just stitch this with 1/8 of an inch seam. Just anything less than 1/4. And my tabs are longer than what I need. I'm going to be trimming that off later. Whoops. And what do? I start stitching at 1/4 of an inch. Because it's habit. But now I'm back down. I just made it a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to close this zipper up so the pull is out of the way. And all I'm doing is just stitching this zipper to 1 layer. I want to stitch it to 2 layers. But I find if I just do them one at a time, it's a lot easier than trying to put both of them there. And things start moving and slipping out. I don't want to have to rip. I'd rather do it stitch 2 times than I have to do it twice. I mean, I'd rather do it 2 times than having to rip it out. Because I don't want to rip. I hate ripping. And I want to keep constantly making sure. And I can only tell on the sides and top. Okay, so I want to put right sides of my fabric to that center mark. On top of that, what I just stitched that I basted down. And now we're going to clip that back again. So, and all of these little corners that I cut out here, they should all line up. So now I'm not dealing with 3 layers, I'm only dealing with 2 layers. I find sometimes when I'm dealing with 3 layers, it's cumbersome. Stuff starts moving. Becky Bramlett is back saying, hello everybody, looks like the trolls are busy, wish they got a life and leave others alone. Joan E says, hi T and everyone. Basting is a good idea, T. Zippers are tricky, yes. And like I said, I've been successful, but the last time I was not successful, and I've done quite a few bags before I wasn't successful, and it's like I'd rather do it at the beginning than to do it after the fact. I had to take that zipper out and redo it. So we're gonna now stitch that 1/4 inch seam, and again, I'm just using my regular foot because I got enough room from the zipper teeth. If you don't have enough room from the zipper teeth to stitch that 1/4 inch seam, then you may need to, I'm trying to figure out where my pull is. It's all the way at the bottom, so I'm going to take it and pull it all the way back up to the front. I'm lifting with my knee lift to get that zipper pull under the presser foot. Because you cannot stitch the 1/4 inch seam with the zipper pull there. So you're sliding it up and down as needed. All right. So now we just did that, and then that's the lining piece that's going to go in the back. And so then I just pull everything back. My zipper pull is right there, so it's facing the front. So remember I put it face down like we were sewing 2 pieces of cotton. And this is where it gets weird. See how it's hanging all funny because you've got the thick piece of foam that I've quilted, and then this is just a piece of cotton fabric that I just have a piece of lining interfacing on. So what I like to do, again, I'm one of those people that I pull and pin. I put where I want it to go. I want these corners to match up. So what do? Once I get it into that position, I put pins in it. Those pins are just holding that fabric down for me. Again, pull the next corner. I do the 2 corners first, and then I pin it. I'm not going to be stitching anywhere near this area. And then I'm going to start working with the middle pieces here, making sure everything is nice and flat and adding pins as needed. And this can be pressed. I recommend it. But you all know I'm not going to do it because I'm in this room. I only got so much space. But see how nice and flat I have that pin now? So that material on the back is not going to move as I'm stitching the 1/8 inch seam to hold this seam flat so it never gets caught in the zipper pull. You always want to stitch, top stitch on the top once you put your zipper piece on. And I've got stuff everywhere. Hold on. I want to stitch this because I got a 1/8 inch foot. On the other side of my 1/4 inch foot is a 1/8 inch. So that's what I want to use right now. So I'm turning it around so I can use that other side of my foot. Coming up on that zipper pull, just moving it out of the way. Again, always keeping that zipper pull away from where you're stitching. It looked like it's not going to be a problem, and then when you get there, it's a problem. Don't let it be a problem. And I'm not even worrying about back stitching because I'm just stitching off onto my tabs. So I now have this. Let me show it to you from the back. So nothing got stuck because I did that pinning. And then here it is from the front with the 1/8 inch seam from the fold from the front. So nice and neat. And I can take these pins out because really that's all that needs to be held down. That's why you're pressing. You don't really have to press if you can pin it into position. And guess what? We're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side of the zipper. You're welcome, Rich. I don't know if that's, I think I've asked before and I've forgotten what your name is. But thanks so much, Rich, for the thanks. And we got this piece now. So now I do have my top marked. So I know that my top is going to go face down. I'm going to go ahead and take this pin out because I don't want it in the way. I do want to mark the center because I got my zipper center marked. Just put a little nick in this part. Just a little. It's foam. I can really see it on here. And we're going to match it up with the center here that I have marked. And again, we're going to pin this into position. And you see the top and bottom of this is not matching up. This is my back piece, but it should align in here. That should be in the same position. Because we got to pull it over to the other side of the zipper is why it's not lining up correct right now. But it will. And I'm actually going to sew with the foam down. So this is the back side of the outside, but it's going to also have the pocket on the inside on the lining. And then again, I got this zipper in here, and right now this zipper is all the way at the bottom, so I'm going to just start stitching. Halfway through, I'm going to go and get that zipper and bring it up to the top. And we're basting, so 1/8 of an inch basting right now. Anything less than 1/4 of an inch, no magic number. This is just to prevent 3 layers from shifting. I'm in the middle, so I'm going to go up under here, get that zipper pull, and I'm going to pull that zipper back toward the top to get it out of my way. Sometimes your zipper will move a little because it's now open or closed. So I just make sure that everything is still lining up on the edges. I'm still basting less than 1/4 of an inch. All the way off my zipper tab. All right. So that's what I did. I just basted over there. And so now I've got the lining and it's on this side. So this is the side I want to put the lining on, and I want to put the pocket side down. This is going to make your inside lining with the pocket. Let me put I forgot to mark my center here. Just a little mark with the pin in the seam allowance instead of cutting my cotton. I don't like cutting cotton. Just makes it want to start to fray. Little pin mark never hurt anything. So I'm going to match that up. Make sure I see. I mean, I'm marking very little. So I want to make sure I see it. And again, I want to make sure that my lining pieces, that they're coming into that square area. So you actually are putting your front on one side of this piece, which is right here. This is the piece we just put on. So those 2 right sides are together. Then your lining 2 pieces are going to be right sides together. Although you can't tell on this, but this is the right side. And I just used, I had Kona cotton sitting there. I had bought a boat from Hancock's of Paducah. So I was like, you know what? Just, I'm trying to cut what's out instead of pulling more stuff out. So, and then I felt like it'll be white because I have pretty insides of my bags and I can't see my product when I look down in there. So I'm like, with white, you should be able to see your product. So hopefully this works. I'll do a test on it. See if it works. All of my ends are aligned. I got that zipper pull right at the top. And we don't want to start stitching with that right at the top. So I'm going to go in here and pull it back beyond the middle, just in case I don't stop soon enough. I'm trying to make sure I give myself some room to move that pull. And now we're going to actually stitch that 1/4 inch seam. No basting this time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move my zipper pull up. I'm using my knee lift to lift that foot high. And now I can go ahead and sew. Nothing shifted because I closed the zipper. When you open the zipper is when you tend to have stuff shifting. All right. Hey, Lenora, she's back. All right. So now we're going to pull the 2 pieces together. So I can go ahead and close up this zip temporarily so that I can now pull this end that I need to base. You see how one end is nice and flat and the other is moving all over the place. So we want to control it. So I'm just going to put it to where it should be again and just put some pins in it to hold it. It's going to hold it flat for me. Take this one out, make sure it's in the right spot. It could be moved a little bit. It's not much, but hey, this is the one thing I can control. So I can't control a lot, but this I can control. I got plenty of pins. Alright, so now we're just ready to stitch that 1/8 inch from the top again. And I think I got to turn it around. I got stuff over here. I'm using the opposite side of my presser foot. And I'm going to open that zipper up so I don't have to worry about the zipper when I'm starting. I got my phone up here. Alright, I'm almost at the zipper. I'm going to lift and pull it closed and go ahead and finish off this seam. Alright, so it's like 9:58. So we're going to stop here. I tell you what, I'm not going to do any more on this bag. I'll go ahead and do my other bags. Either finish those or get them up to this step, so you're not lost. I've done this bag on here before, but I know people like repetition, so you can real fully understand. And then, like I said, I'm constantly changing what I'm doing too. So now I'm on here and the machine don't want to thread my needle because I'm live. Let me rotate around right there. Has a mind of his own. Alright. So we're going to stop here, but I got both of my pieces are actually ready for me to, like, you know, I got the 2 lining pieces, the 2 front pieces, but I need to add in my little pull tabs. I'm going to put a D-ring on one side And this is what I have so far. Okay. So coming along really good. I'm not in a rush. I got so many other things to do that I'm working on trying to do stuff with the optional blocks. I still got people getting into the optional block group, and still trying to. I had typed up the whole thing Wednesday night on Facebook, didn't make a copy of it, and it deleted all the stuff I had typed. So I got to redo that. Probably, I'm hoping either tomorrow or Monday. So we shall see. So yeah. So we're going to go ahead and end here, since we've got somebody that apparently don't have anything productive to do on a Saturday night. I am not working with a pattern. I'm just sewing. At some point, people keep asking me for a pattern. So maybe at some point I may come up with some written instructions. Right now I don't have time to write the pattern instructions. I got a lot going on. But I'll see what I can do in the future. I don't know what that future is. But I'll see what I can do. Like I said, I don't have a bag that I've made more than once. So I got to make the bag a few times before I even make a pattern. You can't just make a pattern and then sell it, and then it's a pain in the butt for people to use it, and then you've changed how you're doing it, but you sent it out one way and you're doing it a different way. So that's the thing. I think I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, and I gave one away. So I've made 5 that I've completed at this point, and every one of them are different in some way. So I am going to make these 4, try to make them all consistent. That's why I'm doing this one, to make sure it's what I want to do. Because I did cut, after I had quilted this, I cut the bottom. These 2 ends were together, and I cut it because it's easier for me to top stitch if it's not in a circle. It's hard for me to get in here and push all of that through there. Sometimes it doesn't give me enough room to get through it. So that's why I cut. Now I've got to sew this back together, and I'm hoping when I sew this back together on the bottom that it's going to be to my level. So I don't know that yet. That's another thing that I've changed. So sometimes I just made 2 panels from the get-go, and then I didn't have to worry about that. But I was like, when the quilting part came, it was cumbersome to quilt, and I didn't want to be doing all of that quilting all these individual little pieces. I wanted to quilt bigger chunks. So that's why I sewed it all together. But we'll come back to this bag. I will not go any further. Like I said, I'll get these next 3 bags either up to this step, or I'll complete another bag to make sure what I'm doing is what I want to do. But I don't want to do it to all the bags and then I don't like the end result. Okay, so I will make sure that we continue with this one. I will not go any further. So we're going to go ahead and end here, guys. Thank you all so much for coming. Just want to make sure nobody else had anything, any other questions that they were asking. So we're going to go ahead and end here. You all stay safe, be blessed, and quilt out. And I will see you all Wednesday night. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks, Rich. Says learn by watching my work.